I want to start today with a tough question, and it's for you listening.
Okay.
I want you to just think about the last time you were honest. I mean, truly, brutally honest with yourself about a big life choice, a relationship, a habit you have. Not the answer you practice for your friends,
Right, not the public version.
the one you only admit when the door is closed and all the noise finally stops.
We want you to just, sit in that uncomfortable silence for a second.
Yeah.
Because today's deep dive is into what our sources call the absolute essential catalyst for personal evolution. And that concept is radical honesty.
And if that phrase alone makes you feel a little defensive, maybe a bit uncomfortable.
Research is pretty clear on this. That means it's working. That means we're in exactly the right place.
Okay, so let's dig into the core conflict here.
Yeah.
Because the researchers found this pattern across all the material.
Yeah.
It's like the great paradox of modern life.
It really is.
On the surface, everyone is, doing amazing. You see the pictures, the polished lives, the thriving businesses, the perfect couples.
But underneath all that, everyone is just running on fumes. Everyone is burnt out and restless and just so tired.
So tired.
I mean, it's a huge contradiction, really. The culture
Yes.
preaches self-love and mindfulness,
I like that.
but at the same exact time, it punishes vulnerability. The second someone admits they're struggling or that they don't have the answer.
They risk getting pushed aside,
Yeah.
socially, professionally.
Mm-hmm.
The energy we spend just keeping up that lie it's staggering.
It is.
And we chase that external success, right? Thinking the next promotion or the validation will finally fill that hole.
And then it doesn't.
It feels hollow.
Yeah.
And you're left just wondering, why did I work so hard for this and why am I still so exhausted?
And the sources, they really point to one thing, this deep exhaustion. It comes from what psychologists call cognitive dissonance.
Right, the burden of holding two conflicting ideas at once.
Exactly. The psychological weight of maintaining a lie is a lie. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack this really challenging idea.
Which is,
Most people aren't actually lost. They're just pretending not to know what they already feel. And the real catalyst for change isn't more time.
or a new app or a new guru.
No, it's radical, uncompromising honesty with yourself.
Let's unpack the cost of that performance then. Because the pressure points the sources identify.
Yeah.
They hit hard, this pervasive need to seem healed, happy, and, together.
Always together.
Just think about the sheer internal energy it takes to plaster a smile on your face and deny what you're really feeling day in and day out.
It's completely unsustainable, and the sources are so clear on this really uncomfortable truth.
Okay.
Growth is inherently ugly, and healing is often a really lonely process.
Which is the complete opposite of the filtered, 10-step self-improvement plan we see on our feeds.
Exactly. Real transformation involves messy steps backward. It involves failure and self-doubt that you can't really monetize or put in a pretty little square online.
That difference between the nice quote and the painful reality is everything, isn't it?
It is.
Everyone loves the idea of transformation, but they hate the prerequisite, the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And the sources say we have to let certain identities die. That sounds so harsh.
It does.
How do we make sure that isn't just self-criticism disguised as honesty?
That's such a critical distinction to make. Radical honesty isn't about beating yourself up. It's about an accurate assessment. The sacrifice isn't about abandoning your core values. It's about abandoning the old identity framework that doesn't serve those values anymore.
So give me an example. What does that look like?
Okay, so sacrificing the identity of the high-achieving burnout means you have to let go of the comfort you get from being perpetually busy.
Right. Or sacrificing the martyr identity.
Yes. That means letting go of that temporary satisfaction you get from being the only one who can swoop in and fix things.
So we have to let go of the versions of ourselves that felt comfortable, even if they were actually destructive.
Precisely. Becoming who you are truly meant to be will cost you versions of yourself you loved, or at least ones you got very attached to.
That willingness to let go,
Yeah.
that's the real sacrifice.
It's the price of admission for every new level of your life. If you want to change, you have to be willing to let those old, comfortable, but heavy identities die.
This brings us to that central metaphor in this section, the idea of emotional luggage. It just resonated so strongly with me because it makes that internal conflict feel physical.
It is physical.
It's literally impossible to move forward in your life if you're dragging these old, heavy identities and resentments behind you, like actual luggage.
We're basically trying to run a sprint while carrying a decade of psychological baggage. And what's in that baggage?
What is it?
The sources define it clearly. It's resentment over choices you won't take responsibility for. It's the fear of disappointing a parent.
The career you hate but stick with because the sunk cost.
Yes. 10 years down the drain. All that baggage is just the weight of your own self-deception.
Which leads right into this concept of the honesty deficit. People always say they need more time, right?
All the time. I need more time to start that habit or to leave that bad situation.
But the sources just reframe this completely.
They do. They argue that what most people need isn't more time, it's more honesty. Time is just the smokescreen we use for avoidance.
So the procrastination isn't laziness.
No, it's the intense, temporary pain of confronting the truth. But the sources suggest that the long-term cognitive burden of maintaining the comfortable lie is actually heavier.
Heavier than the short-term effort it takes to make the change.
Much heavier.
Wow, so we're just confusing our resistance to discomfort with a lack of resources.
We are. So if this lack of honesty leaves us dragging all this luggage, where are we even dragging it to?
Where?
Often we just drag it right into the nearest safe, familiar place, which the sources call the comfort paradox.
Okay, let's pivot and really unpack that paradox.
Yeah.
The sources use this incredible analogy of the ocean.
I love this one.
So imagine you're standing at the shore, you're staring out at this vast, beautiful ocean. You want to feel the freedom of swimming. You want to get to the other side.
But you keep thinking to yourself, I want to swim, but I really don't want to get wet.
It sounds completely ridiculous when you say it out loud like that.
It's absurd, and yet this is the exact negotiation we're having with life every single day. We want this profound transformation.
But we are aggressively unwilling to experience the discomfort that comes with it.
Yes. We want a deep, intimate relationship, but we refuse to risk vulnerability or heartbreak.
We want confidence, but we refuse to risk failure. We want the transformation without any of the turbulence.
And the simple, unavoidable truth, the moral of the story, is that the ocean doesn't negotiate.
It doesn't care about your terms.
Not at all. You either step in and you embrace the cold shock, the risk of the waves, the certainty that you will get wet, or you stay dry forever.
Admiring the potential from a safe distance.
Exactly. Comfort is that warm, dry shore. It's safe, sure, but the sources are so clear. Comfort is a stagnant place where absolutely nothing grows. It's deadly to our evolution.
That makes comfort sound like a slow form of decay. So if comfort is the enemy, what does the active process of dismantling the lie even look like day to day?
Right, because this isn't a New Year's resolution. It's hard work.
It's laborious.
It is. And this is where that second analogy comes in, the one that connects honesty to the messy work of actual change.
Okay.
Radical honesty is like stripping old cracked paint off a wall before you apply a new coat.
I think we've all done that, right? Tried to just paint over those little hairline cracks in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It looks good for about a week, and then the original damage just starts bleeding right through again. It's a temporary fix on a shaky foundation.
Exactly. You can't just plaster aspirational quotes over these deep-seated issues or this foundational unhappiness and expect it to stick.
That new coat of paint, the new job, the new city, it's just going to peel right off.
Guaranteed to peel. Because you never addressed the structural integrity underneath.
So radical honesty is the tool. It's the scraper we use to get at that subsurface damage.
It is the scraper.
Yeah.
And scraping that old paint off is messy. It's loud, it's laborious work, it reveals the raw, rough surface underneath, and frankly, it is ugly.
It feels disruptive, destructive even.
It does. But it is the only way to make sure that the new layer of identity, the new habits, the real growth actually sticks for good. Honesty is the willingness to deal with all the debris from that scraping.
That scraping analogy really hits home because it forces you to deal with the immediate mess, which is probably why we avoid it in the first place.
Of course.
I'm just sitting here wondering how many times I've tried to just paint over a crack in my own life instead of dealing with the uncomfortable noise of the scraper.
And that noise is so important. That resistance you feel when you even think about having that honest conversation with yourself, that's the sound of the old identity fighting to stay comfortable.
He's fighting to stay in control.
Yes. And that resistance is proof that you're getting close to the real problem.
So now let's shift gears completely. Let's move from the theory and the psychology to the immediate personal application.
Okay.
The sources are really clear that this transformation doesn't start with a big public declaration or a dramatic announcement.
No Instagram post required.
Right. It doesn't even start with joining a new gym. It starts with a private confrontation.
This is the moment, the one where you're completely alone with yourself, maybe in the car or late at night, and you just refuse to lie anymore.
And that confrontation needs two things: silence and courage.
You have to turn off the distractions, the things that allow the lies to keep going.
So we've laid out the problem, we've defined the cost, and we've identified the messy process of scraping away the old paint.
Hi.
Now, the sources issue a direct three-part challenge, and it's for you listening. It's time to find that truth that just keeps tapping you on the shoulder.
First, you have to ask yourself, what am I actively avoiding? Not what should I be doing, but what thought or what action am I systematically pushing away with busyness or distraction or just endless scrolling?
Second question, who am I pretending to be? Who is the performative version of me that exists just for my family or my social circle or even my own ego?
Which version of you are you sacrificing real happiness to protect?
And finally, the most critical question of all.
This is the big one. What truth keeps tapping me on the shoulder every time I'm alone? That quiet, uncomfortable whisper that always comes back when the noise of the day finally fades.
That internal signal, that's your compass.
It is. It's pointing to the precise area where the lie is weakest.
And it is not an accident that that truth keeps returning, is it?
Not at all. It's your internal system fighting for alignment. And the sources are so clear on the outcome. The moment everything changes is the moment an individual stops lying to themselves. That's the tipping point.
Not when they start the new job.
No. It's not the external change. It's the singular, private moment of admission that finally frees up all the emotional energy you were wasting on the facade.
When the cost of the lie finally outweighs the discomfort of the truth.
That's when the scraping begins.
So we want to leave you with this final takeaway. If you've listened to this deep dive and you felt that little prickle of recognition, you're not behind. You are definitely not broken. You are simply being called to step deeper into your own honesty. The journey is messy, we've established that, but the alternative is so much worse.
And if we connect this all back to that core concept, we said comfort is a place where nothing grows. That means stagnation is the real danger here.
Right.
The relentless pursuit of external, performative success, that perfectly filtered life, while you actively ignore the internal, ugly truth. It just guarantees emptiness.
Which brings us to the final thought we want to leave you with. If the cost of keeping up that external success is permanent internal dishonesty, how long can you really maintain that before the whole foundation just cracks?